But let's get to Vice President Kamala Harris traveling to Arizona today, just 3 days after the state Supreme Court ruled an 1864 law criminalizing nearly all abortions can be enforced. While in Arizona, Harris expected to underscore the stakes of the 2024 election for abortion, health care, and reproductive freedom. The vice president also expected to emphasize Tuesday's ruling by Arizona's high court was made possible by Donald Trump. The campaign released some excerpts from her prepared remarks, including this, quote, "We all must understand who is to blame. It is the former president, Donald Trump. It is Donald Trump who, during his campaign in 2016, said women should be punished for seeking an abortion. Donald Trump," she goes on, "is the architect of this health care crisis, and that's not a fact he hides. In fact, he brags about it." Here's what a second Trump term looks like. More bans, more suffering, less freedom. But we are not going to let that happen. That's an advanced look at prepared remarks today in Arizona from Vice President Kamala Harris. And Joe, she's right. Just a couple of days ago, Donald Trump stood on that tarmac and said it was an incredible achievement to get rid of Roe and saying, quote, "We did that." He's now living with the consequences.
Living with the consequences. Senatorial candidate also living with the consequences of what she said a couple of years ago, though she is trying to sound as moderate as humanly possible and picking up the phone, calling around people. But Carrie Lake, of course, going to be spending the rest of this campaign outrunning earlier comments. New York Times headline, Democrats hammer a simple attack on abortion. Donald Trump did this. And he did. And the consequences are absolutely terrible for women and also for Republican candidates.
Yeah, while Willie was bringing in this story, I wrote 4 words on my paper. Donald Trump did this. That is what that's the message. That's the message, and that's what the Biden campaign has said. And it's as simple and powerful. I think we're going to hear Donald Trump did this about a lot of issues as the year goes on, including those connected to assaults on the democracy on January 6th. But most powerfully,
and also Donald Trump, and we're going to be talking about this too. He's desperately trying to run away from all the times he said he wanted to do away with Obamacare.
Yes.
Now he's saying, oh, no, Obamacare. I forget what I said about John McCain going like this. Maybe I like Obamacare. Yeah, so he's flip-flopping. He just looks so weak and desperate right now.
A Truth Social video yesterday, he tried to say, no, I'm for Obamacare. I just want to change it. And we can fact-check like about 1,000 times he said he wanted to overturn it. Donald Trump did this. And as much as the Biden administration knows they have to put forward a positive message, so much of what they're going to say between now and November is like, look, this is what Trump did. He has changed your life. He has taken away your freedoms. He's threatening to do more. We can't have this again. And Donald Trump did this, is, Adrian, squarely going to be about abortion. And the vice president, who is this administration's best messenger on this issue, heads to Arizona, which is now trying to enforce a Civil War-era near total ban on the procedure, very much putting a battleground state, but one that seemed like it was slipping away from the president, now firmly up for grabs again. Tell us a little more about about that message we'll hear from the vice president. Donald Trump did this. Is that going to work?
Yeah, look, I think sometimes, Lemire, the simplest words are the most effective message. So I think you're going to see the campaign really playing out. Not only Donald Trump did this on abortion, but as Joe was saying, on a number of other issues. But look, the vice president is an incredibly effective messenger on protecting a woman's right to choose, to make her own decisions, not only about her own health care, but her own financial decisions, her own economic decisions. So I think obviously you're going to see the vice president continue to travel across the country. But I'm also very proud of the campaign and the White House for getting on top of this, for going to Arizona immediately, which of course meant that the vice president had to sort of change around her schedule. But they jumped on top of this because there is so much at stake. Arizona, of course, is a top battleground state in this campaign cycle. And, we narrowly won. The campaign narrowly won Arizona in 2020. It's going to be a very close race this time around. But they want to make sure that every single voter, the vice president wants to make sure that every single voter, the entire American electorate, is squarely aware of who is responsible for this decision, for putting 3 Supreme Court justices on the court that were against a woman's right to choose, that made it very clear before they joined the court where they stood on this issue. And then, like you said, Donald Trump is flip-flopping around. He can't really figure out what the right message is right now. He's not going to be able to run away from what he did. And this campaign is not going to let them forget this.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.